Welcome to Revive Hi-Fi Canada, and we have another speaker feature here with the Mirage m190i, and this is another classic Canadian speaker from the 90s, I believe, and I can tell you straight off the bat that this was one of the golden ages of Canadian hi-fi, and with brands such as Paradigm, PSB, and others, and Mirage and Energy, or some of these other brands. These Mirage speakers, though, actually underwent quite a renovation. I'll call it a renovation. So when I received these had non-removable grills. They were black. The cabinets were completely beat up. And so what I did was I actually took the grills and the emblems apart, ripped the grills off because they were all ripped on the front, and the front baffle was actually coming right off the front, right off of the cabinet. So I glued these cabinets, glued the front baffle back on, and then I actually reupholstered or revinyled the sides, so they're now white. They're now white speakers with a black front. I repainted the front as well as remounted the drivers and put the emblems down in the bottom right corner. And now you can see the shiny Mirage in the bottom left corner on each speaker. I'll tell you a little bit about these speakers. They have, I believe, a 6-inch woofer, and it is polypropylene. And I know this looks a lot like the woofer style that has been used in many of the Canadian speakers that I have reviewed and have had come through my listening area. And these have these kind of light colored rubber surround, and a polypropylene side of plastic type of woofer. The tweeter, though, is very unique on this speaker. I have not seen it on any of the other speakers that I've reviewed. It is I believe it is, perhaps said it was made in France. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but it is a very special tweeter. It is I'll explain later, but about the highs, but it is quite special. It is, I think, an aluminum type of dome tweeter. I think it's combined with polypropylene or some type of plastic material, but it is metal. But it's not quite. It does not have the shrillness of any other metal tweeters. Like it's quite something. It's quite a nice tweeter, I have to say. That was one of the reasons why I put the time in to refurbish these speakers. I was very impressed with the performance of the tweeter. So we can start right there. We'll start at the highs. Well, actually, let's start with the build quality. So normally, I always have a knock test. And you can take the knock test to mean what you will. I'm going to talk a little bit about the knock test in future videos. But here's the knock test for the Mirage m190i. So it has a slight hollowness, just to give you some more context. It's got a slight hollowness to the inside of the cabin. When I opened up the cabinet and took out the drivers, there's some fiberglass batting material in there, and there's also not much else. There's some bracing in that cabinet, so it's a little better than some of the other speakers I've looked at. It has a rear port. It has nice binding posts, and it's not bad, definitely not bad at all for this grade of speaker. I don't know what this sold for. They're about 13.5 inches tall, and yeah, I'll start with the highs. The highs. Considering this type of speaker, this tweeter is very high quality. So you can imagine. I always consider a very nice tweeter to be able to reproduce highs on the music, but not have to go to the point. They'll show detail, but they won't actually sound shrill. And I think this is kind of the line that most tweeters kind of balance the fine line that tweeters walk between being too detailed and becoming shrill, and most speakers in general for that matter, they want to sound detailed and what you call audiophile, but then they also want to not sound shrill. So they have to walk that fine line, and these tweeters do an amazing job actually of that. The woofers, I think that might be, they have certainly enough bass. They're 8 ohm speakers, and they go down to, rated down to 45 hertz, which is pretty amazing for a 13.5-inch tall or so speaker. I think that the bass is really rich on these speakers. The sound overall is extremely rich because that tweeter doesn't actually get shrill at all, but it's not flat. That's for sure. Like it's I won't say flat. It's not smothered out with the sound. It's definitely detailed, but yet still it does not sound shrill. I've not been able to make these sound shrill, so I'm really impressed. The part where I would say it has a little bit of trouble on the woofers is when the music tends to get very busy. So I'll give you an example. I just listened to the Rolling Stones song, was it Don't Get Angry With Me, and that actually is not it's a simple sounding, I won't say simple sounding, but it doesn't sound like a super complex, but it is actually. There's a lot going on in that song between Mick Jagger's voice and the instruments and the guitar, with Keith Richards, of course, and that song sounded really nice on here because it wasn't shrill. But then it didn't sound, I would say I've heard it sound clear, for example, on my monitor audio Silver 3Is, which are really also come from around the same era as these. So just to give you an idea of, you know, where things may not be quite perfect on these. Of course, every small speaker is a game of compromises in terms of its construction, so it didn't compromise really in the bass here. It compromised a little bit, I would say, in mid-range clarity, and that's where, and the ability to handle complex music, I would say, is where it may have compromised slightly, but that's not taking much away. These are excellent. Mirage is just an excellent speaker company in Canada. I mean, they've now, I don't think Mirage makes speakers anymore, but I think they were bought out by Klipsch. You can't quote me on that. It might be that the mother company of these, Energy and Mirage, may have been bought out by Klipsch, but please, I think that it's very hard to trace where all of these Canadian speaker companies went, but these are, yeah, that's not much to take away from these. These are very good. I would say they remind me in a new modern speaker. They actually remind me kind of a bit of like the Wharfedales that I am reviewing right now, the Wharfedale 12.1s. They do have a similar sound. They don't have the nice construction that the Wharfedales have, certainly, but they do have a character that's, you know, similar, mostly because that tweeter doesn't get shrill, and neither do the Wharfedales. They also are not quite as adept at handling the busier music passages, I would say, than, of course, the newer speakers like the Wharfedale. But wow, it's a very pleasing listen, these speakers. I can listen to these all day easily. I had these plugged in an office, and they just played and played and played and played, and you know, you just don't, you forget they're there. They just let you just enjoy the music, and that's what good audio gear should do. And these definitely do that. So high praise for these retro vintage, I guess they're vintage now, vintage Canadian speakers from Mirage, the m190i. I would say that the soundstage that these cast for the size, they sound like pretty big speakers, and that's mostly because of that 45 hertz lower range that they're able to reach, and they definitely do reach that. And you don't need to have them right up against the wall. You want to pull them out a bit, like I have here, about 6 inches from the wall. They cast a pretty wide soundstage, for sure. I would say imaging might be a little bit where, you know, you can't pick out everything individually all the time in the image of the music. So that might be where some things get blurred together slightly. So that's the only place where, you know, the only critical type of comment I would have, but it's not a strong critical comment. I do enjoy listening to these a lot. I think I would love to have, I love these speakers. They're a great addition. Even and this time in 2024, these speakers still are able to sound fantastic, and I play them. I would play them right next to many other speakers, and they wouldn't be out of place. So high praise definitely for the Mirage m190i. So thank you very much for listening for my commentary, and please subscribe. We'd love to have you. We keep featuring many speakers that are coming, as well as amps that will be coming on as well as DACs and other audio equipment that we tend to have here in Revive Hi-Fi Canada. And we really enjoy this hobby. We truly just love to listen to different audio gear. So please enjoy, and we hope that you learn about some of the used and new equipment that might be in the market in your area. So take it easy. All the best. See you next time. Bye.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals that take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
As you can hear, that these actually have really great highs and pretty strong lows. Of course, this is on YouTube, so you can't hear exactly, but where they kind of don't meet the standard of some of the newer speakers, perhaps, especially like the Wharfdale that I'm currently reviewing on the channel, I would say that the voices have nowhere near the clarity. They have a long way to go. Let's say they fall off a bit on the mid-range clarity, but still excellent overall speaker. Continue to enjoy.
We wanna chase the night.
These are pretty easy to drive with almost any type of amplifier as well, so they don't take much. When these speakers are normally purchased, or when they came out, they had